Hi friends, my name is Corey Andrews. I thought I would do a quick video instead of just a post this week, just to kind of switch it up. I'll try to keep it pretty short, but I wanted to start by introducing myself. I am Corey Andrews. Some of you actually might be surprised. I have kind of a girly name, and so a lot of times it gets confusing. In fact, I was speaking at a conference last year, and when I was walking up, some of the volunteers at the conference were kind of discussing what my name was, and they saw that it was spelled kind of like a girl. And so they concluded, as I was walking up behind them, they concluded that I was a girl. And so I walk up and I say, hi, or I say it like in a manly voice. I'm like, hi. And they turn around, they look at my name badge, they see my name, they look up and they go, it's a boy. And so anyways, it might be a little confusing. If you've just seen my name on our discussion boards, you might have thought I was a girl, but nope, I'm a boy. I just wanted to say thank you to all for being such a great group, and I'm excited to review real quickly this book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Would love if you have any questions, please let me know in our discussion forum. So it's an awesome book, powerful book, I think, very for becoming an effective leader, and I think even just effective in life in general. The main premise is that we change our situations so that we can be more effective in those situations. But that starts with changing ourselves. And even before we can change ourselves, that starts with changing the way we see the world, or Covey calls this a paradigm shift. So he begins talking about like people that are outwardly successful, or we view them as successful. Sometimes they reach the end of their life and they're not as they don't feel as that like they've been most effective, or that they've achieved all that they wanted to. And a lot of times that's because they haven't grown healthy within their relationships, and they haven't had effective lives. And so it's not the success or being effective isn't necessarily about what we achieve outwardly. It's what we've become inwardly. Those who die or are on their deathbed, they're not going to be regretting that they didn't spend more time at work. But what they'll regret is probably a lot of times will be not spending more time with their family, or on those things that are most important, which we'll talk about in just a second. So Stephen R. Covey realized this, and that some effective people weren't the most happy people. And so he went on a study and found these 7 habits that he shares with us here. And so I'll just go through those 7 habits real briefly. So habit number 1 is be proactive, not reactive. He focuses on that, not being reactive, not reacting to the world, but proacting in the world, and realizing that you're in control and you can make choices, and not blaming others for your situation, but recognizing you're in control. So that's step number 1. Be proactive. Step number 2 is begin with the end in mind. Visualize in rich detail your funeral. I love this thought. Like, visualize your funeral. What would it be like? If you had, or say you had 30 more days to live, what would you focus on, knowing that the end is coming? And what would you do differently? In fact, I have a friend who shared a message with me recently that he just got diagnosed with cancer, and how he's changed because the end is coming for him. And here's a quote that he said. He said, it's in the book, it's incredibly easy to get caught up in the activity trap, in the busyness of life, to work harder and harder at climbing the ladder of success, only to discover that it's leaning against the wrong wall. So again, thinking about what we want ultimately in the end, and that can be through your whole life, or that can be even on small projects. What do you ultimately want to accomplish? That's number 2. Number 3, put first things first. This one's fairly simple, right? But one of the keys, I think, is to learning to say no. I struggle with that sometimes. I want to say yes and I want to help, but I think it's important that we learn to say no. The challenge is not, he says, the challenge is not to manage time, but to manage ourselves and our choices. And so again, that's putting first things first, managing ourselves. This next one, number 4, is think win-win. He said this, to go for win-win, you not only have to be nice, but you have to be courageous. So win-win isn't just being nice, but it's also being courageous. Maybe you're not going to get as much in the moment if you think win-win. And so you have to give up a little now to courageously give up a little now to ultimately have more success. He talks about three different ways that we can view situations, and especially within leadership. There's win-win, there's win-lose, right? Where we win, they lose. There's lose-win, where we lose and they win. There's lose-lose, where everybody loses, right? There's just win, where you just don't care what happens to them, but what you do, only thing you care about is just the win. And then there's win-win or no deal. So it's either win-win or you don't make a deal. So anyways, I thought that was interesting to go through and think about each of those and how I interact with people. Am I always a win-win? Or do I focus on win-lose, where I can win and give up the least possible? Number 5, seek first to understand. I love this one. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. It reminds me of one of my favorite mantras, my favorite quotes is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think when we seek to understand, we're showing people that we care, right? We care about their point of view, their what they know in their life, and we care. And then once we've done that, then we can be have more power to express and also share our what we hope others to understand. So again, seek first to understand, then to be understood. I think is a powerful one. Number 6 is synergize. Recognizing that other people, valuing other people's opinions and valuing difference, and knowing that we all are more powerful when we work together, and that we can fit together even more effectively than we realize if we seek to value other people's differences. And then the last one is called sharpening the saw. Let's see, where did I put that? Sharpen the saw. Renewing ourselves. He focuses on 4 ways that we renew ourselves: physically, spiritually, mentally, and socially. That we need to be renewed in those ways, and that successful, effective people renew themselves frequently. And really, it encapsulates renewing our dedication to the other habits that can help us to be more effective, to build solid relationships, to become the type of people that in the end we can be more proud of. And then the last thing, I want to share one more quote, and then I'll end. I'm sorry, I hope this hasn't been too long, but the last quote I wanted to share with you was from Stephen R. Covey. He says, "Not a day goes by that we can't at least serve one other human being by making deposits of unconditional love." And that was my favorite quote from the book. There's not a day that goes by that we can't look for opportunities to serve and to help others. And then I think that makes our life more effective. When we're less focused on what we want to achieve and how we want to go, but how we can serve someone every day. And that was inspiring to me and made me want to be a better person, a better leader in that way. So anyways, that's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Hopefully I covered that okay. I would love to hear your thoughts, questions, anything that you liked that I shared with you. And I hope this video was okay. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being such an incredible group. And I love that we work so well together. There's definitely some synergy within our group. And so thank you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.